Today we're going to be solving two-step equations and verifying our solutions. Please follow along in your notebook on page 26 and 27. Feel free to pause this video as needed so you're able to copy everything down. Solutions to equations are every value that satisfies the equation, and what I mean by that is they make the equation true. So when we plug that value in to the variable, we should be getting a true statement. Inverse operations are operations that cancel each other out or undo each other. So the inverse operation of addition is subtraction. The inverse operation of multiplication is dividing or multiplying by the reciprocal. And the inverse operation of a square power is a square root. All right, so these are pairs that cancel each other out. And we will use that knowledge to get x by itself. So whatever's being done to x or our variable, we'll do the inverse operation so that we can isolate the variable and find its value. So we'll perform inverse operations, but we're going to do that in the reverse order of operations. So why are we going in reverse now? So because we're trying to get x or our variable alone, let's think of it like this. Before you leave the house in the morning, you put on your socks and then you put on your shoes. But when you come home and you take them off in the reverse order. You take off your shoes, then you take off your socks. So you undo it in the reverse order that you did it. Okay, so that's kind of like solving the equations. You want to start outside your grouping symbols and you want to add or subtract and then multiply or divide. And then with equations, we got to keep in mind our concept of balance. That just means whatever we do to one side of the equation, we have to do to the other side of the equation to keep it balanced. So perform the same operation to both sides of your equation. In example 1, our equation 5x plus 2 equals 32. So we got to figure out 5 times what number, and adding 2 would give us 32. So by the order of operations, x is being multiplied by 5, and then we're adding 2. So we're going to undo that in the reverse order. We will subtract 2 first. So our plus 2 and minus 2 inverse operations cancel each other out. And then balance, since we're subtracting 2 on the left-hand side, we are also subtracting 2 on the right-hand side. So we're getting a little closer to having x by itself. So we've got 5x equals 30. X is multiplied by 5. The inverse operation of multiplying is dividing. So we're going to divide both sides by 5. So this times 5, divide by 5, those cancel out. If you like to draw a line through that to indicate that, you may do that. All right, so we get x equals 6. Let's verify that. So if I substitute 6 in for x, 5 times 6 gives us 30. 30 plus 2 gives us 32. All right, so that checks out. 32 equals 32. That's a fact. So I'm going to circle my answer because I have verified it and I know it is true. Number 2. Let's add 5 to both sides to get rid of this minus 5. We're going to perform inverse operations. So that gives us 1/3 times x equals 3. So the inverse operation of multiplying by 1/3 is multiplying by the reciprocal. So the reciprocal means we're going to flip our numerator and denominator. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. So 1/3 times 3, those cancel each other out. We get 1. And then on the right-hand side, 3 times 3 gives us 9. Let's verify this solution. 1/3 times 9 would be 3. 3 subtract 5 is -2. So when substituting that number back into x, we get the statement -2 equals -2, which is true. So that does satisfy the equation. So let's go ahead and circle our answer. It checks out. Now, number 3 is we've got a fraction bar. Remember that the fraction bar is like a grouping symbol. So this P plus 7 is a group. It's grouped together. So we want to start outside the grouping symbol. Fraction bar also indicates division. All right. So to undo this division, that's kind of like outside our grouping symbol, we would do the inverse operation of dividing, which is multiplying. And we're going to multiply both sides by 3. So this divide by 3 and this times 3 cancel each other out on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, we will get 12. So now I have P plus 7 equals 12. The inverse operation of adding 7 is subtracting 7. And then whatever we do to one side, we do to the other to keep our equation balanced. We're getting P equals 5. Let's verify that. So substituting 5 in for P, 5 plus 7 gives us 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So we got a true statement. It checks out. Let's circle our answer. Number 4, add 1 to both sides. And then we've got negative 10. There's nothing in between negative 10 and the variable y. That means it's multiplication. The inverse operation of multiplication is division. Divide both sides by negative 10. So we're getting negative 5 equals y. Verifying that, go back to your original equation and replace the y with negative 5. We're going to take negative 10 times negative 5. That would give us positive 50. 50 subtract 1 gives us 49. So we're getting 49 equals 49, which is true. I don't know what that is. That just popped up there. What? Okay. There used to be a check mark there. All right, number 5. So x is multiplied by 2/3, and then we are adding 9. So the first thing we want to do is get rid of this plus 9. That's with our, so we're going to subtract 9 from both sides. And then x is multiplied by 2/3. So to undo that, we'll multiply by the reciprocal, which is 3/2. So 2/3 times 3/2, that equals 1. They cancel each other out. Then when I take 8 times 3/2, I'm going to take 8 times 3 to get 24, and then divide that by 2 to get 12. And then we'll verify our solution. So I'm replacing x with 12, and then to take 2/3 times 12, 2 times 12 gives me 24. 24 divided by 3 is 8. So 8 plus 9 is 17. So that one checks out. Circle your answer. Number 6. To get rid of this minus 11, that's with our variable, add 11 to both sides. And now x is divided by 6. The inverse operation of dividing is multiplying. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 6. That divide and multiply cancel each other out. They are inverse operations of each other. So we get x equals 36. To verify, we'll substitute 36 in for x. 36 divided by 6 is 6. 6 minus 11 is negative 5. So that checks out. Let's circle our answer. Number 7, we are going to add 7 to both sides because we're trying to isolate x, get it by itself. So whatever is on that same side as x, we will do the inverse operation. So this minus 7 plus 7, that cancels out, that's 0. Negative 7 plus 7 on the right-hand side also gives us 0. Okay, now just remember, 0 is a number. It is okay for that to happen. Sometimes when this happens, students start to think that they did something wrong or that the answer is no solution. No, 0 is a number. All right, the next thing we need to do is divide both sides by 12. 0 divided by 12 is 0. So let's verify. 12 times 0 is 0. 0 subtract 7 is negative 7. So that satisfied our equation. Number 8. Subtract 16 from both sides first. Then we have 4/3 times x equals negative 12. Multiply both sides by the reciprocal, 3/4. So negative 12 times 3 gives us negative 36. Divide that by 4, you get negative 9. 4/3 times -9. So I would take 4 times -9 to get -36. Divide that by 3 and I get -12. -12 plus 16 gives us 4. 4 equals 4. True statement. So -9 satisfied our equation. So we'll go ahead and circle that.